humans are now hackable animals. The whole idea that humans have, they have this soul or spirit and they have free will and nobody knows what's happening inside me. So whatever I choose, whether in the election or whether in the supermarket, this is my free will, that's over. Free will, that's over. That's over. Over. Today, we have the technology to hack human beings on a massive scale. Everything is being digitalized. Everything is being monitored. In this time of crisis, you have to follow science. It's often said that you should never allow a good crisis to go to waste, because a crisis is an opportunity to also do good reforms that in normal times people will never agree to. But in a crisis, you see, we have no chance. So let's do it. Surveillance. People could look back in 100 years and identify the coronavirus epidemic as the moment when a new regime of surveillance took over, especially surveillance under the skin, which I think is maybe the most important development of the 21st century, is this ability to hack human beings, to go under the skin, collect biometric data, analyze it, and understand people better than they understand themselves. This, I believe, is maybe the most important event of the 21st century. By hacking organisms, elites may gain the power to re-engineer the future of life itself. Because once you can hack something, you can usually also engineer it.
Natural selection is replaced by intelligent design. The era of inorganic life is now beginning.
In the coming decades, AI and biotechnology will give us godlike abilities to re-engineer life and even to create completely new life forms. We are about to enter a new era of inorganic life shaped by intelligent design.
Yup. Shalom, shalom. Before I begin this lesson, I want to give all praise, honor, and the glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone that rule well, and peace and blessings be multiplied on all you brethren pushing this word in all sincerity and in truth. Shalom to the hopeful elect, 144,000. I'm the brother Damar Gabar, here with another lesson, Lord willing to edify through the spirit and power of Yahweh while Yahweh Shai. And as you saw at the beginning of that clip, Noah Harari basically came out and told you what the plans of these elites are. All right, and I came across this article from Study Finds, and it says, from brain Bluetooth to full RoboCop, where chip implants will be heading soon. All right, and we know the ultimate implant will be the RFID, the MOTB. All right, the mark of the beast, via the micro chip, where you will have your universal basic income, all of your biometric data information, will be stored in the future, and how you'll be, traced and tagged and followed, and all of your transactions can be monitored. Every single action and every, every movement that you make can be tracked and traced and followed. But what I want to get to in this lesson is what he was saying about basically how these devils are, using this technology to become gods, to be able to know what's going on the inside of the people. Now, and one thing you have to understand, how they're selling this thing, they're selling it as if it's some form of, a miracle to help the blind to see, to help the lame to walk, to give people who are frozen in their bodies the ability through technology to have, to communicate, to be able to move, to be freed from the prison of, their body, whether they're blind or crippled or, a certain disease where they're frozen in their bodies and can't move. This technology through these brain chips, will be able to revolutionize, the future. And, people can be, they can use this technology to become super intelligent, to, surpass the bounds of mere mortals or whatever. But we know ultimately these elites are using this shit to become gods and to be able to ultimately to control all of creation from the inside out. They'll be able to, this is why they're so heavy into this technology. This is why they're mapping out the brain. This is why, like the guy Harari said, they're so interested in figuring out what's going on the inside to know more about you than you'll know about yourself. And you see, and when you hear that, you have to understand they want to become God. They want to be able to predict your thoughts, know what you're thinking, be able to have control over your thoughts, be able to manipulate, your thoughts, how you think, what you think, your opinions. have the ability to control, every aspect of you like the Most High controls us. All right. And like I said, them showing you that it's to help people that have been damaged. That's the selling point. That's the way they're going to, let allow a lot of people to let their guard down and to look at this technology as something to benefit them and not to enslave them. But we know what these devils are all about. All right. So I want to read some of this article. I'm gonna hop around and just get straight to the point of it. All right. Because that guy that guy Harari, what he said, these devils are showing you this is what they're ultimately trying to do. And I'm going to show you how they're showing you in one point in this article of how they're going to try to use this to help people. But eventually they show you their real intentions in this article. All right. So I got a couple of precepts I want to get into. All right. So it says in the 1987 classic film RoboCop, the deceased Detroit cop Alex Murphy is reborn as a cyborg. He has a robotic body and a full brain computer interface that allows him to control his movements with his mind. He can access online information such as suspects' faces, use artificial intelligence to help detect threats, and his human memories have been integrated with those from a machine. It is remarkable to think that the movie's key mechanical robotic technologies have almost now been accomplished by the likes of Boston Dynamics, running, jumping Atlas, and Kawasaki's new four-legged Corleo. Similarly, we are seeing robotic exoskeletons that enable paralyzed patients to do things like walking and climbing stairs by responding to their gestures. You see, and this is why we've been telling you for the long time that what these devils ultimately plan to do, they put it in these movies, it's not just for entertainment purposes. All right. They're showing you the future and, the way things are going to be in the future. But like I said, this is just a selling point, right here, how they're going to help paralyzed patients do things like walking and climbing stairs. You see, and this is what they want you to believe that this technology is at the forefront of, is helping people that can't help themselves, to help mankind to, to be better and to do all these things. But really, there's a more nefarious and wicked agenda behind it. Now, of course, some of these technologies will be able to do these things to a certain level, but we know the true reason behind it is for these devils to have complete and utter control and to be God through technology. All right. It says developers have lagged behind when it comes to building an interface in which the brain's electrical pulses can communicate with external devices. This too is changing. However, you see, it's all about them getting inside of the brain. They want to map out your brain. They want to understand how the brain works. Ultimately, they want to figure out ways through this technology to control their brain. All right. Where is it? Here we go. It says in the latest breakthrough, a research team based at the University of California has unveiled a brain implant that enabled a woman with paralysis to live stream her thoughts via AI into a synthetic voice with just a 3-second delay. The concept of an interface between neurons and machines goes back much further than RoboCop. In the 18th century, an Italian physician named Luigi Galvani discovered that when electricity is passed through certain nerves in a frog's legs, it would twitch. This paved the way for the whole study of electrophysiology, which looks at how electrical signals affect organisms, which really they're figuring out a way to master and to control the brain. All right. And this is not something new. This is what this technology is really all about. This is what Elon's Neuralink is all about. This is what a lot of these other companies creating the same type of chip brain interface is all about, man. Mapping out the brain, understanding, more deeply how the brain works and ultimately how with technology to control it. You see, and they're figuring out ways to try to get you people to willingly accept this technology, thinking that it's going to better you, it's going to help you. You're going to make you more intelligent. It'll give you all of these, transhumanistic man merged with machine, capabilities. But really, it's all about completely controlling and being God. All right. But like I said, they're going to present it in a way to where it's going to seem as if these things is going to move humanity forward, like it's some form of salvation. With this technology, we can cure all diseases. We can give you life extension. If you got Alzheimer's or Parkinson's, we can go inside your brain. Now we know where these diseases stem from in the brain, and we can go in and we can correct it and we can fix it, yada, 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 But at the same time, like I said, hey, the true aim is more deeply wicked. All right. And this is Revelations 13:14. And he deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth, that they should make an image to the beast which had a wound by a sword and did live. Now we know that's talking about that revival of the ancient Roman Empire, all right, which is that first beast, but now it's reborn again through America, NATO, and the EU. All right, but the main point we want to get into are these miracles that they're able to perform, especially in these last days, man. All right, in that word for miracles, which is semaion, it says that by which a person or thing is distinguished. Not that one. Here we go. B, a sign, a prodigy, an unusual occurrence transcending the common course of nature, of miracles and wonders by which the Most High authenticates the men sent by him, or by which means they prove that the cause they are pleading are God's. And you see, and this is what this devil is going to use this technology to show you, that, that through this technology, there, is going to enable them and give them the power to be God. That's why that guy Noah Harari was saying, people think they have free will in the soul. In other videos, he'll saying, the God of the Bible, that's old news, And this is why he's talking about, what do you say? Playing God through technology. Let me see if I can find that part. Through an intelligent design or whatever. Shit. Let me do this.
Enter a new era of inorganic life shaped by intelligent design.
There we go. Inorganic life changed by, what the fuck he said?
Our intelligence to enter a new life. In the coming decades, AI and biotechnology will give us godlike abilities.
See that? It's through artificial intelligence and this technology, they'll be able to become gods, man. You see?
To re-engineer life and even to create completely new life forms. We are about to enter a new era of inorganic life shaped by intelligent design.
Right. Basically, they're going to be God, man. And through their technology, they can create life. They can extend life. They could transcend the creation of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. And now through their technology, they can be God, man. You see, and this is all part of those miracles, man. And like I said, through them doing these things, this is where a lot of people are going to be sold that, this technology is going to do more good than bad, which these people are sadly mistaken, man. But this has always been the plans of these devils, man. All right. Is to become God through this technology. And this is why they're so hell bent on doing this shit. Like I said, well, I'm going to show you. Just want to get to the point, man. So where to get to that shit at? Here we go. It says much of the recent progress, and this is what this technology is really all about. It says much of the recent progress has been based on advances in our ability to map the brain. You see? And this is what these devils are ultimately trying to do. So they're not trying to, do this technology to make the lame to walk and the blind to see. It's ultimately they're mapping out the brain, figuring out how to get so deeply, to map the brain to the point to where, they could, see why, they can go into the brain and figure out why somebody is paralyzed, what part of the brain that's not connecting to where that makes a person paralyzed. So they can go in there and put their neurons and put their touch on it and fix those things. And therefore they can become God. They could, map the brain out to where, they can control everything about you, your seat of emotions, what you think, how you feel, how you react to particular things, And it's all ultimately to play God. That's why he said there's not going to be no more free. Well, there's not free will anyway, but they're basically telling you, look, they want to get into the brain to where if it comes to it, they can shape your reality. They can shape your opinions. If you don't like particular things that they want you to like, hey, they can just through this technology, go in there and, switch off that part of the brain that is opposing whatever they don't like and make you to, have a change of mind. And to be controlled and basically, they're slaves, man. It says much of the recent progress has been based on advances in our ability to map the brain, identifying the various regions of their activity. A range of technologies can produce insightful images of the brain, including functional magnetic resonance imaging and positron emission tomography, while other monitor certain kinds of activity, including electroencephalography, if I said that right, and the more invasive electrocardiography. You see? And this is what this technology is really all about, man. And like I said, and as they're doing these things, they're figuring out certain things, but it's ultimately to have complete and total control over you through this technology and to become godlike, man. He just told you that. It's what these elites are trying to do. It says these techniques have helped researchers to build some incredible devices, including wheelchairs and prosthetics that can be controlled by the mind, which, like I said, that's the selling part. These are small things that they figured out while mapping out the brain. And these are going to be the things that they're going to use in order to sell to people that, hey, these things are necessary. Hey, it's being done for a good cause. They're helping people who can't walk again. And it's going to get deeper and deeper. Next, they're going to tell you, oh, we can go into the brain and figure and shut off this part that could cut off early Alzheimer's, or, we can go into this part of the brain where you're lacking and we can boost that and you can become more intelligent. It's just all means of ways for them to, slowly but invasively get people to allow them inside of themselves, man. You see? Like I said, and we know eventually this is going to come with the MOTB, but this is these miracles in which this devil was trying to play God. And if he can get these things all put into place to where, he can get each and every person on this planet to, allow themselves to, be entered into and be mapped out and to be, transhuman with all these different technologies and brain chips and neural links and all these different technology, man. You're basically gonna allow this devil, the ability to be God over you, man. And you're gonna figure it out the hard way. When you're gonna actually give this devil full control and autonomy over your body, man. You see? It says, but whereas these typically controlled with an external interface like an EEG headset, chip implants are very much the new frontier. You see, like I said, and the ultimate one's going to be that MOTB, which is going to have all your information, your universal basic income, your CBDCs, your driver's licenses, your IDs, how you're going to travel. It's going to be a small part of it, but they're going to have many fucking chips they're going to be putting inside of you. Brain chips to, like I said, inside of your brain that's going to be controlling you, your emotions, your thoughts, what you likes and what you don't like. It's going to be able to, put thoughts in your head that necessarily, you didn't want there, but hey, they want them there to further, to keep you aligned, It says, they have been enabled by advances in AI chips and microelectrodes, as well as the deep learning neural networks that power AI's technology. This allows for faster data analysis and pattern recognition, which, together with the more precise brain signals that can be acquired using implants, have made it possible to create applications that run virtually in real time. Yeah, they're going to have real time control over you people, man. You see, this is how this devil is going to ultimately try to play God. You see, look at this. It says Elon Musk Neuralink has been able to get patients to control a computer cursor using similar techniques, right? Like I said, they're showing you these little cool things that they can do, but like I said, the ultimate goal is complete and total control, man. All right, and for them to, like I said, to be able to play God and to, to have control over your mind and over your body, man. All right, this is what this devil is ultimately trying to accomplish. It says, however, it is also worth emphasizing that deep learning neural networks are enabling more sophisticated devices that rely on other forms of brain monitoring. You see? So these devils are ultimately trying to play God, man. And you're going to be a damn fool if you allow this man to get himself or inside of you, see? But this is what this technology is all about. And this is why the pride and arrogance of Esau is so high. And that's why that guy Noah Harari was saying the shit that he was saying. All right? These devils' pride is through the roof. And this is Ezekiel 28:3. It says, behold, thou art wiser than Daniel. There is no secret that they can hide from thee. You see? And, eventually, if they get this technology where they want it and they can get that access inside of that brain, hey, it's going to be no secret that you can hide. Your deepest, darkest secrets, when they're mapping out your brain, hey, they'll be able to tap in there and to be able to search out those deep, dark secrets and use this technology to get you to reveal your deepest, darkest secrets, or go map your brain so fast where they could, get all of your memories and put them on a damn database and put them on a damn, slideshow or whatever. You see, this is what he's trying to be the Most High. You know how the Most High sees all and knows all. Well, Esau's trying to accomplish that, but through technology, from the inside out. It says, with thy wisdom and with thine understanding, thou hast gotten thee riches, and hast gotten gold and silver into thy treasures. And by thy great wisdom and by thy traffic hast thou increased thy riches, and thine heart is lifted up because of thy riches. Therefore, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, Bashem Yahushua, because thou hast set thy heart or thy mind as the heart of God. It says, behold, therefore, I will bring strangers upon thee, the terrible of the nations. And this is why Esau is going to be destroyed, man. All right. This is why this third world war is necessary, because it's going to be a way in which the Lord is going to allow Esau, Edom, in America in this age to go out. All right. In this third world war, this is how Esau is going to be judged, man. It says, and they shall draw their swords against the beauty of thy wisdom, and they shall defile thy brightness. They shall bring thee down to the pit, and thou shalt die the deaths of them that are slain in the midst of the seas. While thou yet say before him that slayeth thee, I am a God. Right. Use all this technology in the day that the Lord allows these, this judgment to come upon you, to stand upon that, man. Stand upon your AI and your technology and all of your pride and your, and your wisdom. Let's see if it's going to save you from the judgment that Yahweh Hashem Yahushai has prepared for you, man. It says, but thou shalt be a man and no God in the hand of him that slayeth thee. You see, thou shalt die the deaths of the uncircumcised by the hands of strangers, for I have spoken it, saith the Lord Yahweh. You see, it's going to be the same with Esau. Let's see all this God talk and all this technology save you in the time when Yahweh Shem Yahushua brings his judgment against you, man. All right. And this is Isaiah chapter 31, verse 3. It says, now the Egyptians, which, the modern day Egyptians today is Esau, Edom. And America is this spiritual Egypt. All right. It says, now the Egyptians are men and not God, and their horses flesh and not spirit. And when Yahweh Bashem Yahushua shall stretch out his hand, both he that helpeth shall fall, and he that is hoping shall fall down, and they shall all fall together. You see, that's going to happen here. All you people that's going to acquiesce to this technology, a lot of you that's going to try to save your life and get the MOTB, get the micro C hip, try to get down with this man's new world order, looking for peace and safety, and be duped by his false pseudoscience and his false form of salvation. Hey, all of you, when this man goes down, you're going to go down right along with him, man. You're all going to be given to the burning fiery flame of this nuclear destruction and the judgment of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, man. You see, so there ain't no escaping, the judgment that's coming upon Esau, man. And we ultimately see what he's trying to do. Let me get this last little part. It says the future. It says the progress in AI, chip fabrication, and biomedical tech that enabled these developments is expected to continue in the coming years, which should mean that brain-computer interfaces keep improving. In the next 10 years, we can expect more technologies that provide disabled people with independence by helping them to move and communicate more easily. Remember, that's the selling point. That's where they're going to dupe a lot of people into believing this shit. It says this entails improved versions of the technologies that are already emerging, including exoskeletons, mind control prosthetics, and implants that move from controlling cursors to fully controlling computers or other machines. That's that whole transhumanism. All right. It says in all cases, and then eventually, you people, when you become transhuman, just how a computer can be hacked, it can be controlled, software can be updated and all this shit. Hey, it's going to be the same with you. Esau's going to be constantly updating your ass, and you're going to be out here looking crazy. Like I said, this weekend, watch that new Black Mirror episode with the ordinary people. You see, when that chick allowed them to get inside her head, how she had to be constantly upgraded, man. And if she wasn't upgraded with the new things, she was left behind, man. All right. So watch that one, man. It says in all cases, it might be a question of balancing our increasing ability to interpret high quality brain data with invasiveness, safety, and cost. You see? And here's the point. It says, where was it? Here we go. It says it should be possibly. It should be similarly possibly to create a $6 million man with enhanced vision, hearing, and strength. See, these are all part of the miracles that are going to be the selling points that he's going to sell you people on. It says by implanting the right sensors and linking the right components to convert neurons signals into the action, no doubt applications will also emerge as our understanding of brain functionality increases that haven't been thought of yet. Here we go. It says, clearly it will soon become impossible to keep deferring the ethical questions. All right. And these are the questions that they don't want you to ask. But this is ultimately what they're ultimately trying to do. It says, could our brains be hacked? Did not Nora Harari say that brains can be hacked? And this is what they're doing. It says, and memories be planted or deleted? Yes. You see, because this is what he's ultimately trying to do. This is the the magnus opus, I guess, or the end all be all of it, man. It says, could our emotions be controlled? Yes. Will the day come when we need to update our brain software and press restart? It says, with every step forward, questions like these become more ever pressing because that's ultimately what they're trying to do. Like I said, but they're going to pitch it and lure you in with the possibilities of the so-called good things. But ultimately, this is what they're trying to do. They're trying to hack your brains. They want to be able to have the ability to plant or delete memories, man. Like I said, control your emotions. If you feel negativity about one thing, they can have the power with the flip of a button to change that thought and make it be what they want it to be, man. You see, and like I said, you're going to have to constantly be updated, just like these iPhones, just like your computer software programs, man. You're going to be constantly be updated with new shit. So this whole transhumanism is nothing more but you becoming a piece of fucking equipment. See, and for the so-called white man to play God over, man. And who knows what type of, when he update your software, the type of shit that's going to be on that shit, man. That's going to be totally out of your control. But once you're updated with it, hey, it's just going to be a part of you. It's going to be in there. You can't change it. You can't rewrite it. You can't delete it. You're just going to be, a damn robot to it, man. It says it's time to start thinking about to what extent we want to integrate these technologies into society. The sooner the better. And we know these devils want to integrate this technology and inside the brain, inside the body to play God, man. But hey, like we tell you here at Great Millstone, hey, as soon as these devils start telling you got to get that MOTB to buy or sell, hey, that's when all bets are off, man. That's about, hey, if I was you, I wouldn't allow this devil nowhere near inside of you with this technology because it's all to make him a god and all to make you a slave and a goddamn piece of equipment, man, at the end of the day. So Lord willing, I'm going to close it there. That was edifying. I'm going to give all praise, honor, and the glory to Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai for put the spirit in me to do this lesson. Lord willing, you were edified. Shalom.